Hello, everybody. I hope all is well. I am using a new mic, so I don't know if you guys can hear me. If you can hear me, say yes. If you can't hear me, say no. That way I can unplug my mic. Just testing it out. So I'll wait for you guys to give me a yes that you can hear me or a no that you can't before I proceed. And I see a few of you. Okay, so great. You can hear me. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So anyway, I am Demetra K, and I hope that you are having a great day. I should say that the purpose of the Demetra K show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even because we're great people, but we can always strive to do better. I'd like to say a big giant thank you and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Also, like to say a big giant thank you to the moderators. You guys are the best to ever do it. So thank you 1,000 times over. All right. So for the time that we are here today, we're going to spend it talking about a white man plotting to paint the town red with the, I say fluid, but blood of 30,000 Black people in Cincinnati, Ohio. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard about the story, as the media is not really interested in covering it as much because, duh. It's talking about harming Black people. So it's not really a good story to them. Of course, you guys know that you could not escape hearing about the Cincinnati brawl that took place about 2 weeks ago or so at this point. So we'll get into all of that. But in the meantime, let's give everybody else a moment to come on and see who else is on here while we're here. Let's see. We have one who cares. Thank you so much, my most beloved. One of them anyway. Moderators, thank you so much for everything that you do. Gloria, what's going on with you? Say he's still walking around town as if he's innocent. While these people just don't get it. They hate us just because, and I don't care. Well, he's not free. He's actually incarcerated, as he should be, right? And I'll get into that. Lisa, how you doing? Mahaya, what's going on with you? Mike, nice. Hope that you are doing well, Brother Don, my triple OG moderator in the building. Ralph, how you doing? Okay, I'm so happy y'all can hear me. Thank you, because like I said, I'm testing out. It's not a new mic, but it's a lot of drama. But I'm glad you can hear me. LaShondra, what's going on with you? Terry, hope you're well. 48 TCO in the building. Diane, what's going on? Albie Chill, how are you doing? You says, told you my hometown, Dayton, Ohio, full of them racist folks. Yeah, to say the least, right? Sister Shirley, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. King Noble, what is up? Said this has been a crazy year in the state of Ohio, specifically Cincinnati. Yeah, it's something in the water in Cincinnati. Sunlight, how are you doing? I saw you on here. I think it was yesterday, but you only made one comment, so I don't know if you had to leave, but I'm so glad that you're here. And Jersey Rick, Lady Diana, Easy E in the building. Def knows what's going on with you. Long time no see. You says divestors will make excuses for him. Now, what divestors got to do with this? Brother Reggie, how you doing? Troy and Eileen, hope you are doing well. S. Williams, One Unique, Monique, and Martina. All right. So I think that we've tap danced long enough. And for those who come in a little bit later, they can catch up. Rex, how you doing? He says to quote Professor Black Truth, power tools, because you should always be prepared to put in work. Come to the range, dang it. And when I come back out there, I will be at the range with you. Pew, pew, pew. And Arlene, how you doing? So anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, Saint Nikki, what's going on? So I guess the FBI uncovered a plot. And let's see, his name is, I should put him up too. So they uncovered a plot, and his name is Scott Michael Hanna. Says from the Miami Township, I guess in Ohio, Cincinnati, that area, was arrested by the FBI on August, so a couple of days ago, for allegedly making a racially motivated social media post threatening to unalive 30,000 people. Now, Black people, right? Now, as I've covered or looked in the media, a lot of them aren't saying Black people, although his post said it, right? So he's threatening to unalive 30,000 Black people in Cincinnati. He was charged with making an interstate communication with a threat to injure. Now, it sounds like the FBI got wind of it, and so they reached out to X, Twitter, and said, hey, we need to know who this person is, because he wasn't going by his name. we need to know who this person is because we got wind, of him making these threats. And so X complied. They gave him the information that they had. And then from that point, they found out where he lived and all that other stuff. So be careful of the things that you post because, they will give you up. Anyway, his tweet says, organizing mobs to unalive all the apes in Cincinnati sent at Governor Mike DeWine. And it says at OSHP won't do anything about this nonsense. And then he also says, we, the people, need to paint the town red and unalive them all. Fill the morgues and cleanse this city of blacks. By Sunday, we are aiming to have unalive 30,000. Now, even just with that alone, right, you would think that should be all over the news. But no, it wasn't all over the news, okay? Now, he didn't say how he was going to do that. I guess he was just supposed to get a whole bunch of like-minded people together, and they were supposed to, pull this off. Now, it said that it's about 120,000 Black people in Cincinnati. So that was, about a third that he was trying to take out. I don't know how he came to that number. Now, apparently he was mad about the Cincinnati brawl. Of course, we heard all about that from everybody, right? He was mad about that. Of course, that was the brawl that took place in Cincinnati downtown, I guess, after a jazz festival where some Black and white people got into it. Now, per the media standpoint, they were painting it as though the Black people were the aggressors, right? Like they were just going around attacking white people. But of course, when all the footage came out, it was actually the opposite. And the couple is actually Russian, right? And so they sounds like they fled back to Russia. But there have been people arrested and charged. They just all been Black, right? So I don't know if the excuse as to why they haven't picked those other people, the white people up, is because they fled back to Russia. All right. Of course, y'all seen all the video. So he was mad about that. So again, it sounds like people are starting to learn the truth about what happened in the brawl, because before you saw even people like J.D. Vance, right? The vice president of the United States. He's, all over the TV and stuff talking about how these thugs and, oh my God, they need to be held responsible and all this other stuff. But you don't hear nothing from them now. I'm just going to keep on going. Anyway, so let's see. I think I covered all that. Now, he's had brushes with the law before. Okay. It sounds like last year. Some woman that was in the home with him, they didn't say who she was to him exactly, but it sounds like he was threatening to take her head off with a sword. And in fact, he tried to do it. And I guess allegedly he called the police and was like, y'all better come do something before I do something. And I guess by the time they got there, he attempted to, off with her head. Now they said it was a partial decapitation, although she didn't die. I don't know how you partially take someone's head off and they don't die, but nevertheless, that's what he tried to do. Also, one of the officers that showed up, I guess he was Black, and Scott here called him the N-word. Now, you would probably wonder, why is he free after nearly decapitating a woman? Well, a lot of people saying, well, we don't know why he's free. He didn't go to jail or anything like that. Well, it's discovered that his grandfather, whom he lived with, is an ex-judge. So it's like y'all run around here talking about you don't know why he didn't get charged for nearly taking a woman's head off. But doggone well, his granddaddy was an ex-judge. So I'm sure his granddaddy was like, here, listen, I know my grandson tried to take a lady's head off, but you never mind that. Come on now. We know how they get down with the get down. But nevertheless, he is held without the bail, right? Obviously, because they said that he is dangerous. And so if he is found guilty, he can receive up to 5 years, okay? 5 years for plotting to take out 30,000 Black people and asking everybody to help him do it, right? And my thing is, how many people signed up, was like, hey, where are we meeting? What do I need to bring with me, right? Because nobody's really addressed that. Now, to me, let's say something like that did happen. Would not the blood of Black people be on the media, who kept on stoking this narrative that it was the Black people that was attacking the white people? Might it be on the hands of J.D. Vance, who took to the airways? He's the second, I guess, most powerful person in the country, talking about these thugs and, we need to feel safe again, and, law enforcement and all this other stuff. Well, shouldn't he be held responsible for the lies that he helped spread? Again, I looked and I didn't see JD Vance say anything about this. In fact, I didn't see any politicians say anything like about this, as though they were talking about the brawl. I haven't seen anybody. Now I've seen some blips. Of course, I've seen a lot of us talking about it on TikTok and things like that. But the news, they mention it just a little bit. So I want to ask y'all, how do y'all feel, honestly, about knowing this guy, was trying to plot actually to take out Black people, but you ain't heard much about it. And I want to ask you, have y'all heard about this at all? So let me get into the comment section, and thank you for bearing with me. I see that there's a lot of comments here. Let me take him down because I'm tired of looking at him. So let's remove him. Okay, so let's see. Who else came on here when I started talking? Going all the way back up. Okay. And Thunder, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. EW, what's going on? Easy says, look at that meth head. You think that's what his problem is? Well, and how you doing? Yeah, he do look a little touch. Defno says, a real life Ronald McDonald. Don't let him hear you say that too loud, because he wanted to paint the town red. Crazy. Yeah, Brother Don says this dude is sick. Yeah, but he's only looking at 5 years, and something tells me, and it's a federal charge, right? But do y'all really think he gonna get all 5 of them years for making such a threat like that? And would he have gone through with it if he didn't get caught? And Albie says Miami Township is north of Cincinnati. Okay. Ricardo, how you doing? Says look like David Bowie on meth a little bit. I can see that. Brother Reddy says, is he a transformer? No, I think he is legitimately a man, but then again, he may not be, but I think he is. So they say anyway. Arlene said, did you hear about the media cleaned up his post? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The media, you hear them say 30,000 people, but the post said 30,000 Black people, and again, called us apes and all that kind of stuff. But they didn't mention none of that kind of stuff. They didn't even mention the part about, painting the town red and all that. So, yeah, they cleaned it up. But we know why they did, because it's not really salacious to talk about their own people. They make a lot of money and get a lot of views when they demonize Black people. It's just a fact. Let's see. Cute Ladybug, how you doing? So is he trying to look like a woman, or is he just natural for him? Well, typically people like that, they I don't know, they seem to be disheveled, and their grooming habits don't seem to be all that. So he might be a little touched. I mean, especially since he tried to take a lady head off. You know what I mean? He may not be wrapped too tight and don't even know what soap is at this point. Tradina, how you doing? Says saints cry out right now to the God of heaven, the Most High. You ain't lying. I find myself doing that often. I ain't gonna lie. Carrie, how you doing? Mike says, I'm not surprised the mainstream media isn't covering this. Yeah, they're gonna touch on it, but not like they was doing with this brawl. Oh, heck no, nah. And even to this day, with the brawl, I haven't seen any media say, okay, what really had happened was, I haven't seen them do that. I haven't seen them say, oh, well, there's some other video out there and we should probably mention it, for the sake of integrity. But no, I haven't seen it. So they want to go along with the narrative that Black people just running wild, just attacking white people. And it's funny because I've seen a lot of people who live in Cincinnati, a lot of white people too, saying, nah, it ain't even like that down here. And I've seen some people say, I actually saw the other side of the story and I've changed my mind. Like, I was one of those people who thought that the Black people were the aggressors, but I saw the footage that actually said that they weren't. So crazy what facts will do, right? MC Fact, how you doing? Says, what's up with that picture? It looks like that guy is wearing a dress. I think it's something they put on you when you go to jail or something like that. So yeah, Thunder says, family stay ready just in case. Moves, how you doing? Says, Lucifer kids are always up in something. Easy says, the media is fueling the hate JD Vance and others. Yeah, because that's red meat for the base, right? Those blacks, we need law enforcement. We need to get them in control because they're running wild. You know, that sells, right? JD Vance can't get up there and say, listen, my fellow MAGA, you know, white people are actually the problem, right? You know, it's not everybody else, it's actually us. Like, if we would just learn to mind our business, we would have a better time. No, he ain't gonna say that because they don't want to hear that, and he knows it. So he's gonna tell them what they want to hear, and that's blacks are the problem. The unsubscribed queen, how you doing? Said, as crazy as he looks. Right. Yeah, brother Reggie, that's what I'm saying. How do you partially take somebody's head off and they still live? That's what they call it, a partial decapitation. So it's like, how is it like how does it what does that look like? Not funny, because I'm imagining that hurt, you know, to almost have your head taken off. Anyway, let me skip down a little bit so I can catch up, you guys. Gloria, he says, stay away from these and bevels. Yes, indeed. Mike says, complexion for the protection. Yes, indeed. Easy says, I see pure drug addict hate in this male terrorist. It might be, but some of them don't need no drugs. Some of them just fueled by hate, you know. Diane says, why is he not in a straitjacket? Good question, right? 48 TCO says, my white trash fatigue is at 100. 100. Carrie says, if the police department do not issue a warrant for those Russians, they should sue for discrimination. Well, you know, they're probably going to say, oh, well, they're in Russia. That's kind of far. You know, the long arm of the law ain't that long. But they were never interested in getting them because they know that there's hell to pay from now JD Vance, who that's his home state, and all these other politicians and white people who want to go on with the narrative that it was the blacks. So, yeah, at the very least, they can free the black people that they arrested. Right now, of course, people are saying, oh, what about that lady? What about the lady that they hit? I mean, from the videos I saw, she was up in the dog pile. It's not like she was just strolling by and she got snatched into it. She was all up involved too, you know. OG, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see who else is on here that I have not seen. All right, I saw you, but I read your comment. Thunder says, you'll be surprised how many would actually sign up. There are some people who would take a low-paying position or job just as long as they can be over something. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How many people actually took them up on the offer? Like, what time we meeting? Jermaine, how you doing? Says, what's this weird-looking white boy name? Is it Scott? What did I say his name was? His name is Scott Hanna. That's his name, Scott Hanna. And let's see here. Monique, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Oops, my comments jumped all the way up. Okay, no, they didn't. Hold on one second. Let me catch up. And OG says he looks like a bootleg Joker. You ain't lying. Mike says, I haven't heard the story until now. Yeah, a lot of people haven't heard the story. I mean, don't you think somebody plotting to take out 30,000 humans would be newsworthy? Like, over and over again, like you heard about this brawl, you could not escape it. It was everywhere. It was on everybody's television shows and timelines and all kind of stuff. But taking out plot to take out 30,000 people was just like, well, he was trying to do it. Next story. Monique, did I say hello to you? If not, hello. Lady Diana, thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you. Says, this is so scary. I cannot understand this stuff. Yeah, but the other thing too is, like you said, it's scary. He ain't the only one. You know, and he's fueled by this narrative that was being painted by the media, that black people are the problem. So he's, in his mind, is like, well, let's get out there and do something about it. We need to take out at least 30,000 of them because I'm tired of these apes. Those are the words that he was using, you know. But what part does the media play in this? They stoked all of this, you know, lies and embellishments about what happened. Until this day, they got the other side of the story. They just won't put it out there because a decent news outlet would do a retraction or a correction or something. But nowadays you have a lot of yellow journalism where people know it's a lie or they only have half the truth and they build a narrative on that. It's like, well, we can include the other part of it, but why? This is, you know, getting clicks and likes and views. We don't want to kill the lead, right? We don't want to, you know, not have people come over here if we tell the truth. The lie is more interesting. So, yeah, but this guy is not the only one. There's a whole lot of people out there probably plotting. So You know, be careful. We've always been told that, be careful. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us, hey, you know, really don't be in a crowd of a whole lot of people, right? Especially them. Tradina says, what is it going to take for people to repent? Well, you know, some people have to come to that conclusion on their own type of thing, but I hear what you're saying. And OG, you say you just heard about it. Antoine, how you doing? Says, these white supremacists act like we don't have pew-pews too. We ain't scared. Carrot Top is going to FAFO. Not Carrot Top. Brother Samuel, how you doing? Says, haven't heard, only 5 years. Right. What message is white America still sending to white people and, for that matter, black people? Yeah, 5 years. 5 years is what he's the max, which tells us he's probably going to get. Don't do that again. Even after he tried to decapitate a person, so he partially did it, which is crazy in and of itself, and he didn't go to jail. And I, in my opinion, think it's because his granddaddy, you know, was a former judge, so I'm sure he's got some pull. Ricardo says, Fed time, he'll do most of it because they don't have good time served. Yeah, so is it 85% or something like that? If he's sentenced to that, they don't have to sentence him to that. They can say, okay, well, probation, and make sure you check in every, I don't know, 30 days, if that's what they do on the federal level. I don't know. Jermaine says, okay, so let's see. And Easy says he's referencing Turn Down Red to Red. It says Turn Town Red to Red Summer Massacre in Tennessee, Chicago. Okay, he could be. But Paint the Town Red sounds like he trying to, you know, sop up some of that blood from the people he taking out of there to paint the town red. And why would anybody really want that? Hey, Tracy, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. You crazy, Thunder, not the Fraggle Rock. And I heard that in my head as I was reading that. Fraggle Rock. Monet, how you doing? So Carrot Top wants to call us names, right? Exactly. Cassius, how you doing? Says, I thought I saw the Silence of the Lambs. This guy looks like the killer in the movie Crossdresser. Would you? I would. And if you know, you know, right? But I know exactly what you're talking about. Anita, how you doing? Let's see who else is on here. Easy says, D, black clergy in Cincinnati calling out media and their racist dog whistles. They're coming with names. Yeah. And the police chief, Teresa Beachy, is that how you say her name? You know, she seems like she's trying to be middle of the road, but it's like, hey, lady, we ain't seen or heard you arresting no white people, right? Because she's the one that says, y'all haven't heard the whole story. Y'all, she admonished the media, y'all only going off of half of the story, but you haven't seen all of the video. That was, you know, about a week or so ago. I don't know what's going on now. Maxwell, how you doing? Say he's wearing an Unalive Himself vest. He's on Unaliving Himself watch. Okay, got you. I kind of figured that as well. Make sure, yeah, like you say, doesn't do anything to himself. Eileen says they're on cold, but we're getting there and they know it. Absolutely. Rain, how you doing? You must be working very hard. I'm so happy to see you here. Hey, Al, how you doing? Says Vance will make a better president. Your thoughts? I think actually Vance will be worse. I think he would be worse because I think we kind of expect certain things from Trump. But I think Vance is really, really, I mean, I think he's very articulate. And I, at one point, thought that he would make the better candidate, but I think he's a little bit more sinister than he leads on. I just get real sinister vibes from him. Like my Spidey sense. It just seems like, it's almost like, you guys seen The Omen? He gives me Damien. That's what JD Vance reminds me of. He reminds me of Damien. Am I wrong? Beverly, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Lane, what's going on with you? Says, you would think people with superior intelligence would at least create another planet. Well, that's why they going to Mars and all of that. I'm telling y'all, Elon and them, they keep on trying to go to Mars and all these other places because they trying to get up there to see how they can, you know, survive and F up the Martians' lives and then leave Earth behind because it's damn near destroyed, right? But yeah, I totally believe that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to go up there and see just how they can survive, you know? But I think them aliens ain't having it. They like, come up here if you want to, right? Greta, how you doing? Says they make all kind of excuses for white folks. They do horrible things and deem mentally ill is to go to excuse. Or yes, their childhood when they were 3, they got stung by a bee and they haven't been the same. You know. L. Evans, how you doing? Says the Carrot Top is wearing this Unalive, if you will, vest worth in corrections. Yeah. That now that y'all mentioned it, that's exactly what it looks like. Yes, Gloria, August 5th, 2025, Alabama a celebration. I actually made 2 videos for tomorrow, one on Emancipation Media, one on African Diaspora News Channel. Y'all can check those out tomorrow. On African Diaspora News Channel, I gave 5 ways to celebrate August 5th. So yes, Rexy says, I keep a shotgun in every corner of my bedroom. Damn, you got the OK Corral up in there, don't you? It says, and the first white person even looks like he wants to throw some dynamite on my porch. Won't write his mama again. Fannie Lou Hamer. Got you. Yeah, okay. Fannie Lou Hamer. I thought you were saying that. Yeah, Fannie Lou Hamer was about that life. Y'all remember when who was it? It was somebody that's trying to liken Kamala to Fannie Lou Hamer. Like, are you high? Cut it in half next time. Because where do you get Fannie Lou Hamer out of Kamala Harris? Crazy. Rainey says, J.D. Vance is married to an immigrant and he should have minded his business. I would never vote for him. Yeah. He was up there sounding like a regular Klans member, wasn't he? Those thugs, we need to get some law and order around here. Your wife and children should be able to walk down the street like a regular old Klans member. Unapologetic, too. So, yeah, I actually think Vance would be worse. All right, skipping on down. Kev J, how you doing? Says just getting in. Who was planning? So I took his picture down already, but some cat named Scott Hannah, pretty disheveled and all of that. But yeah, he's planning to take out 30,000 Black people in Cincinnati, and he was summoning help. So yeah, Kim, how you doing? Said his grandfather was a judge. Yep, and that's why he's not in jail. Let's see what happens after the threat. Yep, exactly the same thing I said. Yeah, because they're saying we don't know why he didn't get locked up. It's like, stop playing. You know why he didn't get locked up. His granddaddy made a call and said, listen, that's my grandson. Yes, he ain't wrapped too tight, but he don't deserve jail. He didn't fully decapitate her. He just partially did it. I mean, not that it's funny if somebody almost lose their head, but wow. Rex, you say, I'm like Grandpa Clump. You're going to walk over, but you're going to limp back. Ain't scared. I know that's right. Moves. He says, at the question of the green dress, somebody brought up that he's wearing, that's actually the body armor of the police put on him, just like they did for the Buffalo Walmart mass shooter that killed all those people, yes, in Buffalo. Okay, yes. Sagittarius Goddess, how you doing? Diane says Cincinnati Black residents are receiving threatening flyers from the KKK. Yeah, from what I understand, that's not nothing new, right? Because isn't that the town of Black people where some white supremacist group went in there and the Black people ran them off? Is that the same town, city, Cincinnati? I do remember that. Right after Trump got elected, and the white supremacists is like, yeah, these people bought that life. Let's leave. Lane says, I randomly watched Nutty Professor the other day and been hearing references to it all day. I haven't seen it in a long time. African Native, how you doing? Deirdre, what's going on? Says, meanwhile, he's the one with the Neanderthal DNA. Right, running around here calling people apes. Only Pamela's way. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Thunder says, I looked up the partial decapitation definition. Well, do tell, because I'm trying to figure out how that works. Because when I think of partial, I'm thinking, well, I guess not necessarily half, but because I'm thinking anywhere you cut somebody in the neck, if you cut them in the back, you might sever their spine. Over here is some arteries. Here, all up in your throat, your windpipe. So how do you partially decapitate somebody and they live, Easy says, they got him, but what about the other? Yep. Sellouts, sales out here waiting for instructions or buzzword from these politicians like they did in Florida named DeSantis. Yeah, trust me, I believe that there's others out there just waiting. They're just waiting. Lisa, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Albie Chilly says, I feel like normal journalism really started going down and these buzzwords started infiltrating the lexicon after Hillary lost to the orange one. Yeah, and also with that, the regular news, they can't compete. They can't compete anymore with bloggers and just everyday people who may have a large following and they're sensationalizing things. So the news is like, bet. We have to do it. Like for me, I knew we were in trouble. I mean, other than the obvious stuff with the media, but I knew we were in trouble when they started using TMZ as a point of reference, right? You would hear news journalists or stations saying, well, as reported by TMZ. Now, TMZ is a what? It's a gossip rag. It's a tabloid, for the lack of better words. But then when I started hearing that a lot, I was like, okay, yeah, traditional media is over. And now TMZ is considered the go-to source. If TMZ didn't say it, it didn't happen, right? Per se. Okay, so 30 said partial decapitation, also known as Atlanto occipital dislocation or occipital cervical dislocation. So it is a severe injury where the skull separates from the spine, often due to high energy trauma. So what? She was just, that's crazy. And she's still here to talk about it. Diane said he was only received probation. I think so too. Tracy, 5 years for threatening to take out 30,000 Black people. That's Fed time. 48 TCL says, I say carry to protect yourself. I bet Miss Demetra didn't even notice I was carrying when I met her. No, I didn't. I didn't notice. But you know what? I need to get on your level. Now, I don't too much like the guns per se, or at least to carry them out. But you never know when you'll need it. But yeah, that's dope. But no, I didn't notice that you were carrying. Let's see. Skip it on down. Missions Visions, how you doing? Jobo, what's going on? Says question, are they taking the Black community's temperature? I think the Cincinnati beatdown was unexpected. So when you say they, you talking about the FBI, that dude and his homies, like who? But I would think too, Black people in Cincinnati. Ohio's very racist in and of itself. It's, from what I understand, one of the hubs of the KKK. So I think Black people who live in Ohio probably are aware of that kind of stuff. But I think Black people are already on heightened alert anyway. I mean, really most places in America, but Ohio probably more so than ever, especially with the latest things that's taking place and the history of it. Deirdre says those sunscreen gang members have a bloodthirst when it comes to melanated people. Oh yeah, everybody want to get them on, right? It's like a rite of passage. Hey Rodney, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for that. Zarp, what's going on? Says he can threaten to end the lives of 30,000 Black people and not a peep in the mainstream media. That's why New Black Media is so important to Black America. Yeah. Because I was thinking about a whole lot of things that I could talk about today. And I said, you know what? I'd be remiss if I don't talk about this because there's not a lot of people talking about it, right? So we should be aware. And of course, this is nothing new to us. We know that they do stuff all the time and get away with it, right? Did a story is not out yet. And maybe I'll cover it here tomorrow. I'm not sure. Did I do it last week? I'll be doing so much stuff I can't. I think I did it last week. Of the Black salesman who was going door to door, and then when he called the police after the guy that he knocked on his door said he was going to hang him and all kind of stuff, the police was like, well, he didn't really do anything. There's nothing we could do because nothing really happened. And the man was calling him all kind of N-words and all kind of stuff. So yeah, it's sad actually. Let's see. My mystical Black realms, how you doing? Says you never lied. African Native says, is racism in them folks' DNA? When are they going to give Black people a break? Never. And it's not up to them, honestly, to give us a break because their time is up and they know it. As y'all say, the Most High ain't sleep, and they know, which is why they try to out-legislate, what's going on, but you cannot out-legislate the will of God. What is going to happen regardless, whether they like it or not. So, yeah, is it in their DNA? I would say so. Most definitely it's learned. It's learned behavior. LaShondra says he looks like Malachi in the movie Children of the Corn. Man, I was so scared of that movie when I was a kid. It's still kind of creepy if you think about it. But yes, he does look like Malachi. And then he gets sucked up by the corn because he was acting a fool. Let's see. Arlene says, yeah, Vance is going to be worse. Oh, definitely. And Maxwell, you see he look like Damien too. All right, so let me skip down. Yes, Lexington, Children of the Corn. Yeah, that movie was a trip. Edward, how you doing? Says, no, Trump is Damien. Or maybe Vance is Damien Jr. I honestly, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I really think that Trump is I think he's like one of the modern day greatest showmen. Not great in that he's good, but great in that he's able to persuade people. He wrote the book, The Art of the Deal. That's part of sales, right? Trump is the ultimate salesman. And he's just selling Americanized racist. He probably is, even if it's to a small degree. But I really think Trump is like, I'm going to do and say whatever I got to do and say to keep this money coming in. I don't know if y'all heard about it, some private club that he has in New York City, to where if you have like $500,000, you can go in there. And I guess he's made this for his children. If you got $500,000, at least you can go in there and, rub elbows with the wealthy and get some secrets and see what they're doing. He's doing all this stuff. And he's the president, mind you. A lot of stuff I don't think he's really supposed to be doing like that. But I think Trump is like, I'll use racism. If I got to use racism to keep making all this money, then I'm going to do it, right? Now, Vance, on the other hand, yeah, I think he really about that life. I really do. I think Trump is just playing because he's trying to make money per se. Because if you listen to Trump speak, even now, you don't even know what he's talking about. The other day, he was on the news talking about medication has been cut by 1,200%, 1,200, 13, 1,500%. Like, if you don't knock it off, you just bringing numbers out of your toupee, man. So, yeah, I think Trump is just kind of playing the role. But, yeah, I think Vance has really got a cauldron in his office somewhere. So, yeah. Angela, how you doing? Says the closer they get to Mars is a Mars chocolate bar. But they trying, right? Beverly says, Demetri, that police chief in Cincinnati was caught lying on Rodney Hinton. He wasn't driving a car when the officer got run over. Okay, so she is really, really part of them. Got you. Scoop, how you doing? Says they continue to think that the threats mean something. What can they do to us that's worse than what they've done? Bark at us and we bark back. We ready. Yeah. And I think that's really what they're afraid of. Like, these black people ain't scared like that. Huh? Shirley says, I think JD Vance will be better than Trump. At least I don't believe he's a little demented. I don't know. I just get the sense that Vance is worse. I mean, because for all the things that Trump has said, and I could be, well, he has said some things about black people. I was thinking about, especially the Central Park 5, but Vance just seems like it just rolls off, right? Get the law and order after them thugs. So yeah, that's kind of where I think. Oh, Tracy, what is August 5th? That is Montgomery, Alabama Day. It's another black holiday. Yes, it is when they have to get crunk there in Montgomery, Alabama, with the white people that did not want to move their boat. And they tried to beat up the captain, that was there trying to tell them to move their boat. You remember. All right, so let's see. Cute Ladybug, it says they're so smart they need to go on and build that big ship and take millions of like minds with them. You ain't lying. So hopefully I've answered the question about August 5th. That is a new Black national holiday unofficially. Brother Don says I should take my wooden folding chair out to lunch. Yeah. Check out my video tomorrow. I got some pretty good ideas. Mahaya says we always have fought back. We don't flee. Come on now. Above, beyond, and forever. How you doing? Long time no see. Says, dear black folks, are you ready to fight the fight that's before us? I sure hope so. It's go time. Well, yeah, that's true. But, if you, and I don't go to church, but I'm familiar with the scriptures and things like that and prophecy. I don't think there's much we have to do. It's already in the works. It's already in the works. There's not much that we have to do. We've done and endured a whole lot of things. The only thing that we've been really called to do at this point is unify, separate, right? Everything else is handled, as y'all say, by the Most High. So that's kind of what I believe. Only the Truth Network. How you doing, Yanni? What's going on with you? Easy says, I would not vote for Vance. That West Virginia wrong turn racist hillbilly. So, but he's a senator. He was rather of Ohio, right? But I got you. Pamela says JD Vance movie Hillbilly Elegy. That was a really good movie. Says, and that should be enough said, but some just don't get it. Yeah, I thought it was a good movie. And then, of course, when I heard about him running and you put two and two together, it's like, oh, that's him. But, of course, in the movie, they leave off all that other stuff he got going on. Only Truth Network says, yeah, Fox News will never report this. Nope. Ernest, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Yahweh, what's going on? All right, so skip down. Beauty with brains. How you doing? Long time no see. Siku was up. He says Vivek is trying to get back in with white supremacy. Yeah, after he told them that they weren't smart and that Indians needed to come over here because they're smarter and all of that. He tried to back away from being racist for a minute, but yeah, like you said, the people he's trying to be like was like, yeah, you can't sit with us anymore. And he even had some stuff to say, but they're all quiet now. Okay. Rainey says, Demetri, you know that I am traveling nurse. 2 of the so-called diaspora folks, along with 2 agents, got my contract canceled. So I'm going to chill until Trump sends some of them back home. Yes. And I hate that happened to you because I know, especially traveling nurses, whoo, y'all make so much paper. It's crazy. I'm thinking about going back to school to be a nurse, but I don't like blood. So maybe not. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. And, it's happening, whether we know it or not. A lot of people are getting sent back. And it's not just people, selling flowers on the corner and stuff like that. You're hearing about some of these people who are in high positions that are getting snatched up, right? So in time. OG says it was Tops, not Walmart in Buffalo. Correct. Tops Market. And thank you for the correction. Biz, how you doing? Let's see. Brother Samuel says Kamala being compromised to compare rather to Fannie Lou Hamer. Note that's a great example. Black Democrat cult think. Yeah, I was like, how do you even draw the two together? Dominique, how you doing? Says yes, it was. And don't forget the police escorted Klansmen into the black neighborhood and protected them from the black people. Sure did. Yep. Dub, how you? Did I say hello to you? If not, hello. So many of y'all on here. Let me skip down just a little bit. Synovia, how you doing? Says Fox News is owned by the biggest Klansman alive, Rupert Murdoch, and him and Trump are fighting now. Believe it or not, because he owns the not Washington Post. What's the other one? Skips my mind. I think Jeff Bezos owns Washington Post. Wall Street Journal is what it is. They printed a story about the Epstein stuff, and so now Trump is suing them for what, $10 billion or something. And that was his homie. So Rupert is like, I don't care what you say. We ain't backing up off of this. All right, so let's see. Robert, how you doing? He says, first time in a live, long time follower. I love your outspoken dedication to our Black empowerment. Well, thank you. And thank you for finally saying hello. Unicorn Squad, what's up? He says, right now, I don't care about any of it anymore. I have better things to do than to watch the Democratic Party show who they really are when they've been showing themselves for decades. And have y'all heard about what they're doing in Texas? A lot of, I think about 50 Democrats fled the state as they are trying to vote on redistricting, right? Gerrymandering, for lack of better words. But Greg Abbott got the call from Trump that said, hey, I need you to take 5 seats and flip them to Republican. So the Democrats have left. They call it breaking quorum. And so now Greg Abbott is like, well, I'm putting out a warrant for you guys' arrest. They're in Illinois and other places, so he can't do nothing to them. Or anything like that. And it's kind of unofficial, but he's basically like, you guys have abdicated your responsibilities. We're supposed to be voting on all this stuff and you guys took off. So it's against the law. But they're like, yeah, we're not coming back, because if they're present for the vote, then the gerrymandering, for lack of better words, can go forward. But if they're not present, then it's stalled. So that's where they are. But it's crazy how a lot of this stuff is starting to turn out. Anyway, let's see. Aboriginal, how you doing? Says, I wonder if the so-called Black content creators will cover this story. They only do hit pieces on the Black community and let racist people run wild in their chat rooms. I doubt it. It's not their agenda. Yeah, a lot of times if it don't get a lot of clicks and views and things, people won't touch it, right? And I get it. Content creators, for the most part, are trying to make money. So I understand that. But it's like, if everything you do is heightened and sensationalized and all of that, is like, you don't really do it any justice. You can't really say that you're try to help people or for the truth, because you're really just trying to help yourself. And like I said, I get it as a fine line, but if we can't cry about what white media does not cover if we don't cover it. So yeah. Skipping down. Hey, average logical thinker, how are you doing this evening? Agent Black, what's going on with you? I see I'm so behind, so let me just skip down. Molly Cakes, how you doing? Says Ohio's very racist, especially Dayton and Cincinnati, like 2 peas in a pod. Michelle, how you doing? Yeah, I was in Ohio, obviously, Columbus in May for the expo, which is wonderful. I didn't see anything problematic, but then again, I was only there for like a solid day, right? But the black people and stuff that I was there with, wonderful, lovely people. But yeah, I know the kind of the racist history of Ohio in and of itself. Yes, beauty with brains, it should be taken seriously. You crazy. Albie Chill says, where is a Crouton and Anton Daniels on this? Now you know this ain't even his. If it, he, and I'm sure he probably demonized the black people due to the brawl and all of that. But yeah, he's getting paid a lot of money to sell out his own. Well, I don't know if it weren't his people or whatever, but he gets a lot of money to sell out black people because he knows that the racists show up to this comment section like, yeah, we need more people like you to tell the truth. We need more black people like you to speak. They like all that. And so Anton is a grifter, because I know, wasn't he starting off with the whole manosphere content? And now kind of seeing him all over the place, taking on race stuff. So yeah, he knows that pays his bills, just like Candace Owens. Give the white folks what they want. And that's, hate for black people. Saint Nick Easy says, do you think Phil talks about this tonight? Oh, I don't know. Usually he'll put it up, maybe half an hour or so before. I don't know what Phil's going to talk about, but it's always interesting and insightful. So he's going to be on at 7 p.m. Central Time. So I guess we'll all have to see what he's going to talk about. But I don't know. Biz says, if you're close and not armed, then go for the eyes. So if you're close and not armed, go for the eyes. Yeah, that's one thing about me. I took self-defense as a child, right? So I still know a lot of those things. My nieces and nephews, they trip out. They're like, I have a 16-year-old nephew, and I was there, earlier this summer, and I was showing him some moves and stuff, and he kept on trying to grab me, and I'm getting out of it and stuff. He's like, "Dang, Tia, what are you crazy? How do you know all this stuff?" I said, "Stuff I learned when I was a kid." I said, "I know how to protect myself." Oh, you can believe that. And he's tall, right? All these muscles and stuff. And he couldn't like lock me down. He was like, I said, and I told him, I said, maybe later on you can come to the dojo of Tia's dojo. And he's like, man, whatever. All right, so let's see. So your astrological thing you said is innate to them. Oh, absolutely. Somebody got mad when I said that once. They're like, well, you shouldn't say that. It's like, well, prove me wrong. Easy says, the Ohio borders Western Pennsylvania and West Virginia, according to Southern Poverty Law Center, who tracks these groups. 3 corners of Ohio is hot with hate groups. Okay, good to know. Hey, Deacon, how you doing? I am so glad that you are here. I must skip down because I didn't realize I was so behind. Just acknowledging everybody I have not seen so far. Man, times goes by so fast. LaShondra says, you're just bringing numbers out of your oh, yeah, damn, I'm so behind. Yeah, but that's what Trump is doing. He got a lot of stuff under that toupee. I really believe it's a toupee or it's, too thin at the very least. Hey, Buckhorse, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. I didn't see you yesterday. I hope that you had a great Sunday. King Charles, what's going on? She says, hey, beautiful queen. Thank you so much. She said, peace and black power. As Freeman, we always been fighting. The fight will never be overcome. Get some. Yeah, we're always fighting, but I just really believe that God, and again, it's been prophesied. If you know, I think God is like, y'all have done enough. Y'all been through enough, and I got it from here. Because whatever system you believe in, karma, you do on others as you have them do on you, and all that other stuff, eye for an eye, what you give, you got to believe they got it coming, and they know that. They're trying their best to stave it off, but it's like you're a human. You got it coming, Because one thing about them, they sure make sure everybody get what they got coming to them, whether you breaking the law or whatever. They may, especially if you black, right? They make sure you get hit with the book and the whole damn library. So they ain't special. Gonna skip down. Judy, how you doing? Says, when the rubber meets the road, Vance will hurt black people willingly. Yeah, he seems like, I'm telling you, I just get those vibes from him. Like he is about that life, Kev J says, Ann Coulter already told Vivek they won't vote for him. And she wasn't lying. One thing, Ann Coulter is like one of the triple OG, I guess racist, but she tells the truth every once in a while. She's like the old school conservative, right? Because even she said, the civil rights and all those type of things, that was never for nobody else. They were meant for black people, but everybody else has been, benefited from it, right? So she's good at calling that kind of stuff out. Reparations, and all that. Yeah, LaShondra, I saw that about the Indian guy. I might talk about that one day this week. But I did see it. But yeah, even he is like, Negro, I'm gonna check you. You in my neighborhood. It's like he learning from them people. But then when them people do that to them, then they're like, oh my God, we don't know what we did. Well, hell, you say hell, that man darker than me. And he run around there checking black people. What you doing in my neighborhood? Really? You better go call your cousin Kamala or somebody. Rohan, how you doing? Says good evening. Speaking about that black salesman, it happened close to my parents' house. They have a police outside the racist house. That community is mixed. Okay, so the police is keeping guard to make sure nothing happens to them. Tahada, how you doing? Says Murdoch owns Newsmax, I believe. Yeah, Newsmax is tolerable, but definitely right leaning. Eventually they'll all go where the money is. Right now the money is being super racist out loud. JR, how you doing? Says DMV, we in the building. FBA stand up for justice worldwide. Yes, indeed. Angela, how you doing? One unique Monique says Rudolph owns New York Post and Fox News. Okay, so it was one of those other ones. I don't know why I thought it was one of those other ones that published a story about Trump and he's mad and he's suing for 10 billion or something. Yeah, but Rupert was his homie. Fox News is furthers all that nonsense Trump be talking about. Now he's fighting with Rupert. Yellow, how you doing? Says, love your show. You're awesome. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for being here. Yeah, Hodge twins. Oh, I can't stand them. Oh, them, it's just like, you don't really wish bad on people because you don't want it to come back to you. But it's like if something bad happens to them, and I'm not saying to what degree, I sure want to see it. I just want, if you just give me like 30 seconds view of it. And when I say something bad, like they're, how about this? Get their wake up moment, because it's coming. They're all going to get it, right? I just want to be there and see it when it happens. Please and thank you. But yeah, but the Hodge twins, yeah, they're doing the same thing. I'm trying to think of a good word for it. Definitely selling black people out to white people because, like Candace, she figured out the hustle. Oh, all I got to do is talk really, really bad about black people and white people will reward me for it. Because what they're doing is they're feeding the machine, especially if they hear from black people. Oh, see, I told you, Barbara. I told you them Negroes was like that. See, their own people are talking like that. So they get rewarded handsomely to do it. But I got to tell everybody, study, step, and fetch it. Lincoln Perry, he learned that the hard way. He was the laziest man in the world. That was the name they gave him. And he was the first black millionaire actor in America. That's how much they was paying him to. And he wasn't stupid, but he portrayed that. But that was to feed the beliefs of white people that paid him a lot of money. When they were done with him, black people was like, oh, no, homie, you was really doing too much. You was really doing too much, and now you can't sit with us. And eventually, black people forgave him, but not to where you're going to come and work and eat off of us. And he ended up dying broke and an alcoholic. And he squandered all that money behind shining for white folks. Believe it or not. So everybody should study that before you think you're going to, tap dance at the behest of white folks, because it always ends bad. Hey, Still, how you doing? Says FOI, the mighty FOI. Yes, indeed. Go 7 days. How you doing? Says, I believe black Americans should join the military, specifically the Marines. If you know, you know. I guess if you want to. My baby daddy was a Marine. Does that count? Roz, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Who haven't I seen? Ty, how you doing? Says FBA is to stay in the gym every day. You know what? You make a good point. I tell my daughter that all the time. I say, hell, it's great. You should exercise for health and things like that. But you never know when you might have to be running through some bushes and trees and trenches and all that other stuff. How many people are actually going to be able to do that? Now, I could do that. I'm 54 years old, but I ain't slow. I've slowed down. But you can best believe if it come to it, oh, yes, I'm high. I ain't going to want to now. I ain't going to get me wrong. I ain't going to be wanting to jump in no mud or nothing like. But I will if I have to, okay? Ain't nobody just going to be finding me. I'm going to be Blambo out there. Believe that. But yeah, you're right. You should stay in the best shape possible because you just never know. Donnie says, Ohio, the opioid state. For real? He says they changed the damn state flower to the poppy. For real? Sissy, how you doing? Says JD Vance needs to get that wake-up call. He needs to remember that his children are not white. Well, you know, he feels like as long as he has a secret service and all that, they'll be okay. But you're right. I mean, his wife is fairly dark-skinned woman for an Indian, right? But yeah, he don't see them that way. Tracy says, Ann Coulter also said these so-called natives aren't the real indigenous people. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, Ann Coulter will say what she got to say. One thing about her, like I said, she's old school. She's not scared of her party because she's like, I remember what it's like to be a true conservative. And I don't mean conservatives aren't racist, but she's like, yeah, let's make the main thing the main thing. Y'all done got all off the grid with all this other stuff that y'all trying to do, right? But yeah, she's one of the triple OG conservatives. Fair use, how you doing? He says Pastor Jennings got arrested for watering his neighbor's flowers. Was that Pastor Jennings that got in trouble for that? Because I remember the story, but I didn't know that was him. Pamela says, yes, Demetria, Ann Coulter is the overt old school in your face racist. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But I think for her, and then, again, I can't remember everything Anna said, but I think she's probably like, I don't have to be like in your face. I'm just going to say stuff that you know is racist, right? But in the guise of I'm protecting the Republican Party, like white folks, right? Enlighten, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Gwendolyn, what's going on? Says, I know my people can sometimes use poor judgment, but from what I heard, the White Russian initiate the first punch. If that's the case, I don't care who you are. Keep your damn hands to yourself. Yes, and that is the part of the story that they don't want to tell, right? The average logical thinker says, I'll be front row seat when the Hodge twins get there and come up. It's coming. It is coming. Thunder says, speaking of self-defense, I heard that those FOI brothers were the true Steve and Muhammad is a living legend. If you know, you know. And if you don't find out about this brother, oh yeah, FOI, they're trained. They're not just which way do I go? Now they don't carry, pew-pews or nothing like that, but they can handle business. Okay, they ain't no punks. That you can believe. Street translations, how you doing? Long time no see. It says the Hodge twins asked the white folks to join the white-only town, and they said no and got on his ass. So they asked him if they can join. Now they know better than that. They're like, y'all just keep tap dancing, okay? That's all we need y'all to do. Just keep tap dancing. That's it. Don't miss a beat. Keep tap dancing. Now, if you heard of, and then the white folks are like, I know y'all heard of the Nicholas twins, right? Y'all the Hodge twins, you the Nicholas twins. We need y'all tap dance like that. Anytime it comes to riding down on black people, we need you to get on your best tap shoes and you do that. But you will not be putting those tap shoes under no beds in no white communities, okay? So yeah, it's going to happen though. Yeah, average logical thinker, traitors rather. Black is worse than a racist white. Yeah, because I'll tell you, boss. And Angela says, hello, you are the best. It says, ever have a good day, Callie Love. Absolutely. What's up? Jane, how you doing? Infamous Eli, what's going on? Yeah, y'all know I got my little friend up under the desk. Dwayne, what's going on? Says they will get their ninja wake-up calls. Yep. Renzi says, Demetria, there's an expiration date for a absolutely. Come on now. We've seen it throughout time. It's the same story, but somehow they think, not me, bossa. You like me, don't you? Prize, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. I got a minute left. Let's see. Who else haven't I seen? Yeah, Rambo is the stuff, but wait till you see Blambo. I hope y'all never have to see her. So I got to the bottom. Yes, indeed. So anyway, I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. I will be back here tomorrow with Mr. Donovan. Hopefully his internet is working. Y'all saw that. His internet kind of, I don't know what it did. But I'm going to have to talk him into like getting him a good computer, not one that he stitched together like Mickey Mouse or whatever the case is. I know he's, good with airplanes and all that, but computers maybe not so much. So anyway, I'll see y'all later. Please stay tuned for Brother Phil Scott at 7 p.m. Central Time, which is in about an hour or so. Whatever he's talking about, I am sure that it will be very informational. Also, if you found this of value, we have ways to donate. They're at the bottom of the screen. But at the very least, please like and subscribe. If you haven't already, I will see you tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Peace.